So will Weibo go for it? With Maokai up and available. Remember that Noah's no stranger to Kalista himself. We know him better for these hyper-scaling, long-range AD carries. But let's see. The hover is there. Fnatic did have a fantastic early game in the first matchup.
And by no stranger, we mean he's played it twice this year and won both those games.
Yeah, see?
Obviously has more experience on it than that, but I'll see if Fnatic go for it. It does mean Fnatic would be looking for a more aggressive style.
They've locked it in. Wow.
It will be locked in, so much more early game focus.
Do they prioritize the Rell now, or do they just want to take the Sejuani matchup once again? Of course, they could do something like the Ivern, but maybe they just want to save the jungle pick for later. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rell just because it gives them flexibility in support. Maybe they just want to grab something like the Nautilus now, but there's so many potential answers to it. Instead, they're going to play it safe. All right, so they know that they're not playing towards the top side of the map. They want to guarantee Oscar something that he's safe and comfortable on. And the Renata priority again. I guess this time around, it makes a little bit more sense. We had question marks last game about when you have Renata Poppy, where does your engage really come from? The Aphelios answer from Light. Okay, Aphelios Renata, a very powerful 2v2 lane. Fnatic, I feel they need to lock in their support here. That does mean that they can give up jungle, but I honestly don't think that's the end of the world. Yep. When you think about Ivern, potentially Poppy, Sejuani, they have options that they can save for later in the draft, but they're going to lock in a mid for Humanoid here.
And Humanoid had Xiaohu's number, at least in the laning phase. Xiaohu was able to pick up a couple of kills throughout the game, but I think Humanoid had more of an impact on the game in totality. Syndra now locked in. I'd like Fnatic to ban the Poppy just because it's very good into Kalista. We have already seen...
So, I'm just throwing it out there. Soraka Kalista was something that old school Rogue, they brought it out in the finals back in last year, 2022 LEC finals, and it was Trymbi, as you said, alongside Comp. Wouldn't surprise me if Trymbi just said, hey Noah, how do you feel? But we'll wait until later on in the draft, of course. The Poppy's still a potential. They're going to choose to ban that one away for the top lane matchup.
Where will Weibo go with their bans here? Can look towards the jungle, can look towards support as well, as you say. Yeah, Nautilus removed. Trymbi, although he is a very good engaged player and he is very good at Rakan and he can play things like the Nautilus, more known for his enchanters, his Nami especially when he came onto the scene was very powerful, and as you said, the Soraka, a possibility for him here.
What about Rakan with the Poppy ban?
Yeah.
I mean, Kalista Rakan, not like the strongest 2v2 bot
still
lane.
really nice.
Yeah.
As Rakan, you get chucked in, you ult immediately, and you're in the middle of 3 people. It's really solid, and you can even E away, so you don't have to wait for your W to have that half-second lockout. It's not a lane that will dominate the lane through the support and AD carry synergy, but it gives you a lot of potential later on in the game. Akali now taken away.
But look at how much mid-focus they put there with the Nico, the Orianna, and the Akali, and the prioritization on the Syndra. Fnatic really want to make Xiaohu sweat. They want to make him dig deep into his champion pool, and they want to try and take some of that mid-lane control away. A lot of fans of Weibo have said that he's the reason why he got here, right? Xiaohu is what brought this team to the World Championship. Will we see Razork go to his Lee Sin? Honestly, I'd be a little bit surprised. The Rell and the Rakan are both being hovered. I think both are fine choices.
I also think Rell here gives you some flexibility because you can still flex that into the jungle. You can then see what you get from Weibo on these next 2 picks. And it gives you a few more options going into R5. And it looks like that is what Fnatic are going to lock in. Weibo now have to go mid-top. Will TheShy just revert back to his Aatrox? Struggled against the Ksante, or at least struggled to have an impact in the game. In the laning phase, he was fine, about 20 CS up, but didn't have as much power as he would have liked in those later game team fights. Taliyah in the mid lane, it looks like...
Maokai. It's a very low damage mid-jungle. We've seen it before here at Worlds, so not great success. Taliyah Jarvan is something we've seen a little bit more effectively. Obviously, a lot of utility on the side of Weibo's composition. They're engaged from the Maokai, gives them a huge amount of zone control, and if TheShy does lock in his Gnar, it will give him a really strong laning phase. We saw Zeus put on a clinic yesterday with the Gnar, and we know how threatening that champion can be in many 1v1 situations. And in the hands of TheShy, you know that Oscarinin is going to be playing on the weak side. The Ivern hover, it was banned in game 1. We talked about it as a potential option. Does lower your damage, but it does also make the Kalista that much harder to kill and give the team a few more scaling options.
Also the Alistar. Talked about that flexibility for the Rell. Instead, Lee Sin locked in.
Okay, this is a big confidence play from Razork. He's saying, you know what? I believe in our mid jungle. Humanoid, I trust you. I think together we can win this. And you look at the damage difference. Like, it doesn't take an expert to know that Lee Sin Syndra is quite the powerful 2v2 into Maokai Taliyah. It gives you so much control over things like the early crabs, early dragons. And it's also a lane that you can threaten and then look to move into bot.
Yeah.
It's just so much skirmishing power. And Fnatic, they've gone all in early game, right? When you look at that Aphelios, when you play into a Taliyah long range outside of the Rell and I guess the Kalista pullback into re-engage, the engage isn't super solid, whereas the amount of utility that Weibo have, this front-to-back composition, the range that they have at their disposal, the later this game goes, the more options that they're going to have to be able to fight. So we're going to need to see another early game masterclass from Razork for Fnatic to come out ahead in this one. They have bought themselves a bit of breathing room winning game 1. If they do fall short here, we will be going to a decider game 3, but they don't want to fall short here. They want to cement themselves in the quarterfinals.
Momentum's so often the deciding factor in game 3s as well.
Yeah.
If you lose game 2, even in a best of 5, if you lose game 3, often things can start to turn, the tides can start to turn, and Weibo so often have been the team that have turned the tides on their opposition, making their way through top esports and EDG to be here, coming second in the regional gauntlet, only behind LNG.
So let's see what they can do. We return to the Rift. Game 2. The last time we saw Fnatic in a quarterfinals was against top esports back in 2020.
Let's not talk about that.
It was a while ago. Fnatic have been clamoring to be one of Europe's representations for a while, and Weibo looking to do the same thing today.
And if you want to represent on the Rift as well, you can log into your Riot account and watch Worlds 2023 on lolesports.com to earn exclusive drops like emotes and icons. Always nice to have, you know, your team's icon that you can flash when you make an outplay, or even when you make a misplay, if you so desire. Every now and again, I'll put the BDS one up when I make a mistake in lane.
It's kind of mean. Why are BDS catching strays?
They're already out of the competition, man. Like, we support the winners here, Vedi.
Every time I die, I throw up my XDD emote.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I thought they cancelled that one, didn't they?
You're right, actually. That's
Yeah,
true. They did. I forgot about that. Now, early vision invested from both sides. You can see that deep ward dropped in bot lane. In the river, though, from Fnatic, they have some wards to see if there are any early shenanigans being set up by Weibo. But it looks like weiwei will start on the top side. Razork will look to do the same. I can't quite see, given his icon, if a ward was dropped. It doesn't look like it based on the cooldowns of the wards on Weibo that any more than this initial blue ward bot lane. So no information garnered from either side as to where the enemy jungler is starting for now.
Razork just doing his top side camps. Wonder if he'll look towards top lane. Always a possibility, that level 3. Weiwei matching, though. He'll be going down towards the wall, so his path kind of leads him away from top. Actually, it looks like Razork might skip out on his Krugs and just go down towards the bottom lane with his positioning.
I mean, he needs to play towards this lane, right?
Yeah,
you can see they've already gotten the early push with the range advantage that they have. The level 2 is going to kick in soon. Noah only has a single CS, but that's kind of expected. Started with the Raptors, went to blue. I was like, there's no way he's going to go for a level 2, right? Surely
Skips blue,
not.
goes Gromp, and they can go back towards the blue.
But it's a fast clear, right? And the goal is to get an early level 3 and look for a play. The ward is dropped, though, and it has been pinged out by Fnatic, so they know that it's there. So if he does want to find a play, he's going to have to get creative with his pathing. Keep your eyes on Razork on that minimap, see what he's up to.
And keep your eyes on Light and Crisp in this bottom lane. Already a 10 CS lead. There is a big stacking wave here, obviously. So Light and Crisp, as they push this in, could look for a recall. Get back, get yourself, you know, an extra longsword or some boots. But they might even just look for extra pressure. Calibrum giving them that little bit more range in this lane right now. Trymbi and Noah looking for 2, but they're not going to be able to do too much unless Razork comes around. Now he can ward hop into the tri-bush here. Maokai's going to try and match him. Weiwei on his way, still on the red now, and Razork's worked his way all the way around. How close is Weiwei to joining this fight? Because that could be the deciding factor as the stun comes down and Crisp has to flash away immediately. Exhaust still available to him. Goes down, Razork tempers cripple. There's the slow, the sonic wave goes wide, but Crisp is ripped apart by Noah's spears.
It's first blood for Noah once again. Fnatic start off strong on the bot side of the map, and we could see it from Razork's pathing. His goal was to find action in the early game, and they're able to do it. They set their sights on Crisp very early on. They knew about the cleanse on Light. They didn't care about it. Getting his summoners means that they're looking for a repeat play on that bot side of the map, and Fnatic will find first blood onto Noah.
Razork once again with the creative pathing, showing the top tier that he often showed in Europe. Sometimes, though, did really struggle, and today seems like he is just on form. Good engage by Trymbi to kick it off with the flash, making sure he couldn't be handshaked away.
Yeah, and the exhaust comes out as well. Razork, he just flash commits. He does miss the Q, but at the end of the day, they get the damage done. The execution from Noah and the Fnatic flare is flown. So good stuff from Fnatic here in the early game. A very small gold advantage, but crucially, Summoner's burn. And that's what matters, as these players are going to be looking to make repeat appearances on the bot side of the map. And again, like, you look at top lane, and credit to Oscar, dead even on CS, even with the pressure that's being put on him underneath the tower. Small CS advantage for Humanoid in the 1v1. And this is great news for Fnatic. As long as those two solo laners are stable, it makes it so much easier to build more leads in the bot lane.
Good news for Weibo, though, is that weiwei hasn't fallen as far behind as he did in Game 1. His jungle wasn't stolen from him, no blue buffs seal early on, so he's just been able to farm up. Yes, hasn't been part of the action yet, but he'll be okay with that. And also, Light in the bottom lane does still have this 16 CS lead. It's almost 2 waves over the course of the first 5 minutes of the game. Even though Noah was able to pick up the kill in the pure 2v2, the control still very much in Weibo's favor.
And Zerka's Green's already picked up for Light. But keep your eyes on the jungle here. Already going to look for a dragon 5 minutes in. Oscar needs to be careful. Takes a lot of damage from TheShy. Oh, going to throw another rock. Okay, he's able to sidestep that one.
It's a lot of rock throwing on the Weibo side.
Certainly is.
Dragon now secured for Fnatic. Oscar knows his job is just to survive. Hits level 6 as the minion wave pushes in, but now he can back TP. Especially since the dragon already gone, so he knows there's no possibility of TheShy TPing down there.
So this wave is in a bit of an awkward spot right now for Fnatic. In an ideal world, they want to push it underneath the tower, but they don't have a huge amount of vision around the tri-bush. And if they walk too close, then Light can just trade on him. Look at his guns right now, the root from the Gravitum and the damage from the Infernum. Not something you want to play against right now.
There's such a threat as well. You get Gravitum rooted, you get hand shook, and then weiwei can have all the time in the world to walk through the tri-bush and round. Flash twisted advance, and you're basically gonzo. Does have the cleanse. We saw Noah very fast on the trigger with that in Game 1, and Razork once again shadowing. None of his camps are up, so not wasting too much time here, just making sure that his bot lane is as safe as they possibly can be.
This wave slowly pushing back towards Noah and Trymbi, so they're perfectly fine. weiwei now shadowing. Both junglers level 5. Razork has his eyes set on mids.
Flash from Xiaohu. Once again, the respect. We've seen it in both games from the Weibo mid laner. Always willing to burn that flash. weiwei here didn't put
threatening a
sapling
dive
in the bush. They were threatening it. The Sentinel also missed weiwei as he walked around, but the control ward that's in the pixel bush will spot him now. So Fnatic know there is that possibility. No wards on them. I think Trymbi's probably 25 seconds away from coming back. Would love to put that in towards the tri-bush in that bottom lane.
So both Humanoid and Oscar have used their TPs, so that's not an option as a defensive play. Looks like that the dive isn't going to come through right now, though, for Weibo. Lee Sin on the top side of the map means that there's no protection for this bot lane, but with weiwei safely going back to base, Fnatic fans can rest easy knowing that that dive isn't going to come through.
It's a really good push timer, though, for Weibo, because after they get this wave in, they can then reset for the Herald if they so desire. It's 30 seconds away from spawning. Razork is on the top side of the map. Question mark pings coming out on the blue buff as well. I wonder if Weibo think that Razork has gone for that, but with Xiaohu not having flash, Humanoid flashes in, the scatter of the weak and the unleashed power enough. Razork looking for the kick, but he does just have the damage, tanks the tower and escapes. It was a little messy, but Fnatic get the kill in mid.
Well, the unraveled earth is what made it complicated, right? Humanoid flashes in with the ultimate to get as much damage as possible at the start so that he can guarantee the stun connecting to then allow the Q to connect, and then Razork realizes the only way I'm getting this kill is if I flash R to get the lower health damage and then execute. But now Weibo's bot lane looking for something.
As Trymbi steps forward here, the handshake always a possibility. Noah trying to dance around, now hits 6, has that base call. Noah looking to get away from it, base call coming out as well. Noah burns the flash and will escape. Moonlight Vigil invested by Light. He has all those chakrams, but they fall off relatively quickly. And with only 2 minions here, no more plates a possibility for Weibo. weiwei will start up the Rift Herald, though. Razork on the bottom side of the map, no way for Fnatic to respond.
A really nice trade there from Light and Crisp, just giving the impression that they had gone back to base. And with the play that was made in mid, Razork's not in a position to contest this Herald. Plate should go in favor of Light as well. So overall, a lot of gold still going towards Light. And they can just funnel this Herald towards the bot side of the map as well. So Weibo, even though they're down 2 kills, definitely not out of this game. Light is the win condition, and we talked about how Fnatic are going all in on these early game plays, and while they are finding a couple kills, they're not really converting it into anything significant for the time being. Xiaohu now on the roam. We'll spot out this control ward.
Yeah. Razork looking for him. Might have to dance away. Doesn't have a ward right now, actually, so if he was caught up there, he would have been a little bit stuck in the enemy jungle. Red buff not going to be stolen away. TheShy doing a good job of keeping Oscarinin below full HP, usually around half. Razork now clears out the control ward, but no red buff steal for him. Let's have another look at this mid lane play.
So again, Humanoid flashes in first, throws the ult out, guarantees the stun. The Q then connects. He realizes if he follows that Q, he's going to get stunned. So he flashes to ult to then guarantee the execute damage on the Q. Well played from Razork. He's having an incredible series so far. A 30 CS difference in mid lane. A full level advantage for Humanoid. Now 20 CS after catching that wave, but still, this mid gap is continuing to grow. But still, Light in a great position. We look at the total gold, he's not that far behind Noah. The concerning thing for Weibo is how many Fnatic members are sitting near the top when it comes to total gold.
Only TheShy ahead of Humanoid, Noah, and Razork there. With 30 seconds on the Drake, though, Light and Crisp getting control through the bottom lane. Something Fnatic would have been looking towards is, can we stack these Drakes early? You can see first one taken only 5 minutes into the game, but because Noah and Trymbi are behind in this lane, because they cannot get the push, it becomes ever so slightly more tricky, and you can see Razork deciding to play through mid instead. Unleash Humanoid on the map and then play around him. Rift Herald a possibility here in the bottom lane. The handshake just short. Weiwei puts down the Rift Herald. Razork and Humanoid move from mid after they gain the prior and might join up a play here. It's Xiaohu backing, but he does have the TP and he has the wards aplenty to join this fight as needed. Light, 175 gold for him from the plate.
I like this play from Weibo. I think it's smart to just keep funneling gold into Light. He is going to be your late game insurance. He is going to be your hyper carry. And it's a clean play on a stacked wave. They drop the Herald. Little that Fnatic can do to contest it. TheShy just clearing out the wave with his ultimate.
Yeah, and if you get Oscar in it, it's a bonus, right?
Yeah. But his main goal there is just to keep that pressure up. 2 plates secured for him. He's constantly had push on the top side. Not really had to be afraid of any gank from Razork. If he does, then that bot lane tower is going to go down, right? So Oscar does, of course, have the TP. He should look to base here. Weibo now on the Dragon. And Fnatic not really in a position to contest. So overall, this is still a fantastic early game for Weibo. Fnatic have been finding kills, but we talked about the scaling. Weibo have great scaling. Their range is going to become a real problem later on into this game. And Fnatic, they've only found a dragon off of these early kills. Herald and the second dragon gone down in favor of Weibo, and all these plates still being collected by the Weibo members.
Weibo will be very happy with this position, especially against a lane that can be very aggressive in the Kalista and the Rell. Obviously, we do still have mid-game fights, second fights. Weiwei looking for the Nature's Grasp. Noah has the cleanse, the root lands, but there's the face call to get him away. Summoner burn for an ultimate there from Weiwei, but it's still the pressure as well. It's not just about the fact that you are getting these summoners out of Fnatic, although that's obviously a huge benefit. It's also about the fact that Fnatic now have to think, is Weiwei there? Can we step up? Can we go further? Because if we do, I no longer have the cleanse. He could flash root me, and then I'm pulled back with a handshake, or even with the hostile takeover. Razork coming to support his bot side, but Weiwei once again here. Everyone knows bot lane is the place to be.
Now there's a fight in mid lane over that control. Both of these mid laners want to be able to roam down. Humanoid going for a nice trade, will proc the phase rush.
Gets the splinters as well, 58 of them. 120 is when you get the extra AP, 100 is when your ultimate gets that execution threshold. Does have some power as we get towards the mid game, but Xiaohu absorbing the pressure really well in the mid lane. Such an experienced mid laner as well. Obviously MSI champion many times over. Very good at understanding how to play when you are not on the strong side of the map.
Weiwei doesn't have the ultimate, but it will be up soon. Again, Humanoid continuing to poke away at Xiaohu. So Leandri's doing that extra bit of tick damage as both supports make their way towards mid.
The game slows down a bit, Betty.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think Weibo's really happy with this.
Yeah.
This game state is a very comfortable one for them to be in. Crisp
Trymbi gets the stun. Humanoid looks for a little bit more. The scatter of the weak. Exhaust, the unleashed power won't be enough through the exhaust as Humanoid's intent to kill is stifled by that summoner from Chris, but both his flash and exhaust now burnt. Light stepping up a little bit. They're looking for the flank as well as Noah flashes forward, cleanse away, but there's the slow onto Light, and you can see where Trymbi's trying to get in from. No flash, no cleanse on Light. Trymbi can flash in and look for that Magnet Storm. Razork on his way as well. Trymbi takes the knock up, the Magnet Storm possible as well as Light will fall, but Trymbi follows suit. Razork gets the kick away to make sure that TheShy can't close the gap. Noah can dash back for the safeguard. And Trymbi actually didn't have the Magnet Storm in that plate, so that's why he didn't use that ultimate.
No, also didn't have mana for the ultimate as well. But now Humanoid's in a bit of danger. Weiwei sees the play. Oh no, hang on a minute. Flash for Weiwei.
Humanoid has flash as well. Humanoid sees it, was in the shot, knocked back though, and now Xiaohu can look for the seismic shot. The Nature's Grasp hits just at the tip. The seismic shot back on Humanoid, and he falls to Weibo in mid.
A nice collapse and response from Weibo. The tower secured in bot lane as well. And very quickly, this gold is going in the favor of Weibo. Fnatic found some good early picks, but Weibo played the patient game. They played the long game. And now they're walking away with the advantages. Great punish onto Humanoids. They get his flash out. They get a kill onto Xiaohu. And now they've been able to neutralize the game a lot more. This look back, Noah had to burn a lot. The movement speed from Light is enough to just keep that gap between him and Noah. Then the dive comes through. Trymbi misses the initial stun. He gets a huge heal from the ultimate. And then again, Noah, no mana for the ulti to bring him to safety. Good kick there from Razork. But Humanoid should have just been basing underneath the tower. Wants to get a quicker base off. He does see the Maokai, but he doesn't flash in time. And then he tries to flash out of the way of the ultimate here, but it just sets up for the knockback from Xiaohu. And of course, isn't able to flash away from the root. So nice stuff there from Weibo. Now the Herald being started off. TheShy is here.
Oscar has TP. He's pushing in bot wave right now. There's the Weaver's Wall to separate the team. Rift Herald secured as Trymbi's locked up, but the Fate's Call pulls him back. Who got the Herald? Well, the Iron not picked up yet by Weibo. Weiwei could walk across it here. It's taken by Fnatic in that fight. Weibo just making sure Fnatic can't get in and get out. Razork does have the Dragon's Rage. Xiaohu could look for Noah here. Seismic shot dodged by Noah. Fnatic using the fact that Weibo is spending their time around this eye to allow Oscarinin to push in bot and Humanoid push in mid. Razork.
But look at, yeah.
He's going for the kick. He gets the kick on Xiaohu into the Magnet Storm, and now Xiaohu's pulled back. Stunned up, locked up, and Oscarinin enjoys the fray. That's 2 for Fnatic.
Unbelievable kick from Razork there. I didn't think they'd try and make a play. Hang on a minute, Light.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, just a bit of chip damage. Humanoid does have the ult, but maybe he's going to get dived. He's going to be forced to run away from that tower, unlocking that. But Weibo, they were pushing in mid. They were just kind of defending this top tower. Then Razork says, I see an angle. Goes in, gets a great kick onto Xiaohu. Chooses not to flash away, realizing that there's no real point. And they get themselves a double kill. I think that the TP from Oscar was a little unnecessary. But you know what? Fnatic make it work. They've been able to claw the gold lead back, but really it's dead even between the two teams. Weibo have gotten so much map control off the back of this. Look, that top tower's going to fall. The pings are coming down. The bot tower's fallen as well. They've unlocked mid too. So Weibo definitely not in a bad spot, even though Fnatic have the kill lead.
Yeah, it feels like Fnatic need to keep finding inventive plays, whereas Weibo can just keep waiting, keep scaling. It's only the second dragon. As you say, Oscar does have the all-out. Trymbi trying to join in the fray as well. No Magnet Storm for him, no flash either. Makes it hard for him to join the battle. Xiaohu's ultimate up in 6 seconds, but Fnatic will secure the Drake before it comes back off cooldown. So it's 2 dragons to 1 now. 17 minutes in. Basically honors even between these two teams. Only the Drake really separating them. We'll have another look here as Razork flies into the backline using Weiwei as a taxi.
Just really nice play. The follow-up from Trymbi as well. I think he does go for the ward hop here, but then he just flashes. Yeah, the ward isn't quite where he wants it, but he gets the job done. Secures the kickback onto Xiaohu, and he decides, you know what, flashing away is pointless here. I see the TP coming in, may as well hold that summoner spell. TheShy now in a bit of danger, but the team is there to support.
I think he's in less danger than he was a moment ago as the rest of Weibo here to react quickly. Trymbi on a ward once again, caught out, pulled back with the handshake, but not too much damage to follow it up. Only the Maokai there who's gone Radiant Virtue first as well, no Demonic.
Weibo doing the correct thing here and just playing for that final outer tower in top lane, giving the support to TheShy. Fnatic, it's only really Humanoid that can match the wave clear from TheShy, and they threaten that dive. He knows he doesn't have flash, so he's forced to disengage. Another tower goes in favor of Weibo. So this goal difference has just kind of shifted back and forth. while Fnatic have found a bunch of kills, Weibo have done pretty good in terms of the farm discrepancies on both TheShy and Light. Also, all those plates that they picked up in the early game and these early towers has resulted in the situation that we now find ourselves in. You can see that goal difference over time. The range is only 1,000 either way. It stayed very close. And again, I think that this favors Weibo overall. It'll ultimately come down to how these team fights in the mid-game are played. In game 1, Fnatic had a good lead and they out-team fought Weibo in the mid-game. But can they do the same thing now? Light is getting stronger. Can he be shut down, or will he and TheShy run rampant in the team fights?
And the big fight we expect to see is in 3 minutes' time around that Mountain Drake. Weibo will want to stop Fnatic getting onto Soul Point. They can delay if they feel necessary, but it'll be a little bit trickier for them because at that point, every Drake is Soul. Xiaohu here does have the flash. He has Renata in his pocket as well as Fnatic start to deny the vision. The wave cleared out as Razork's just going to tank it. Dragon's Rage kick gets back. Trymbi with the flash down as well as Xiaohu is locked out. He thought it was safe but not for long as Trymbi now tanks the Nature's Grasp. He can be pulled back with the Fate's Call as Noah flashes away to escape TheShy. And Fnatic, clean pick there in the top lane, but once again, it doesn't really amount to much.
TheShy is here to defend a good TP, and I guess Xiaohu just felt safe. He one-shot that wave. He thought that this dive was going to be extremely difficult, and he thought that he'd have the support from his team, but Razork, once again, with a kick to the face, sends Xiaohu into the waiting arms of Fnatic where they find a pick. But you called it, Medic. No tower, no advantage really gained, just a single pick. And that's Noah's summoner's gone. 2 minutes until the Mountain Dragon, and TheShy is going to know that.
Xiaohu invested nothing. Only the Weaver's Wall has the flash, has the TP.
Hang
TP
on,
immediately hit by Weibo. They're looking for the Baron here. Light with red, white. He wants to fight. Humanoid now pushing in, as you say. That ward in the back of it is actually cancelled. They cannot see it right now. Now they can because of the fast sight alteration. TP in. Razork now tanking up the Baron. Oscarinin joins the fray. Weiwei on the front line. Nature's Grasp not available for him for a few more seconds. 15 at least as Weiwei's stunned up. The unleashed power. Oscar goes in, but Light able to flash away just in time. For me and Tofu strike the hostile takeover is being used as well as Noah tries to get into the battle. But Trymbi's already down, and now Weibo can start to turn it around. The Baron down to 3,000. Humanoid dancing around, doing everything he can. But he's locked up, stunned up as Oscar dives in front of his mid laner. Can't stop them. Razork tries to get onto the Baron, but he's shut out as well. And Weibo with a perfect team fight. Turn it on his head.
Fantastic fight from Weibo. Such a great decision to start the Baron off and force Fnatic into this awkward fight. Trymbi didn't have the ultimate available, and they were able to turn it around. Great patience as well. Once Razork and Oscar were in the pit, look, they disengage. They don't even hit the Baron, they just let the Baron do the work for them. And they use their range to their advantage. Trymbi with an initial stun. Oscar goes in, but then the follow-up just isn't there from Trymbi. A great Renata ultimate to zone Noah and Humanoid away. And look, the backline of Fnatic isn't hitting onto anyone. Weibo played patiently, and then this pick from Xiaohu, nicely done onto Humanoid. He loses his life, a lot of the damage disappears, Noah can't get involved. And just this range discrepancy, Weibo leverage it perfectly, and they send Fnatic to the fountain.
And it's a cooldown diff, Vedi. No ultimates for Fnatic, no flashes as well. They invest them in the top lane play, and Weibo knowing that are like, actually, how are they going to fight us if we're here? We still have a tanky front line. We still have TheShy who's been farming up 2 items, 3 items now on the Gnar. The Mountain Drake now in Fnatic's eyes, but Weibo have just shown us how well they can win a fight. No summoners still on Noah. The clean's about to come off cooldown. Oscarinin has the all-out. The seismic shove goes wide. Razork's looking for the flank. He's trying to be as sneaky as he can, and with a good kick. What a way it would be to make Fnatic's way into the quarterfinals. What a standout series Razork has had. Joined Misfits just a few years ago in the early
Look at Xiaohu.
Sapling spots Razork. He's going to jump the wall here, but there's another sapling that finds him immediately. Xiaohu comes in with a Weaver's Wall, or the Fnatic back away from it. Fnatic don't have to fight this Drake, but you can see the time slipping away. The sands in the hourglass starting to slip through their fingers. The dragon resets. Weibo back away. TheShy looking for the flank. He's got Mega Gnar. It's timing out down to half on the timer on that right now. He's spotted by the ward. He uses the sweeper, but once again, that sweeper will expire and the ward will come back alive. Mini Gnar now for TheShy. Razork still standing behind the pit. He's going to jump in. 4,000 HP on the dragon as Fnatic look for what could be the final fight of the game, or at least a game-defining fight. The smite comes out from weiwei, and now Fnatic try and turn and burn and do everything they can to kill off TheShy. But once again, TheShy, it's just too damn good. He dodges away as Light goes on a killing spree, a double for him. Humanoid, is there any way out of this? I don't think not today, as weiwei starts to close the gap. Razork's gonna try and clear the way, but the TP in from TheShy, he's reset, he's back. Razork misses the Sonic Wave, he'll flash. Humanoid already down, and only Razork left to watch as Weibo chase him down. The red buff there, but TheShy's there too, as Weibo get the clean ace.
It's a clean ace once again for Weibo. Fnatic just can't deal damage. The Maokai provides so much zone control when combined with the Renata. TheShy continues to be unkillable, but like, look at how do Fnatic fight this? It's so difficult for them to actually get in range. Oscar takes so much damage initially. Humanoid and Noah zoned in the back. The early cleanse from Noah. He goes over the wall to try and create space, but the moment that he's taunted, the flash in from weiwei, and he loses his life. The front to back is so much stronger from Weibo with this composition, this prioritization on the Aphelios. And it's making such a massive difference. Weibo come out on top in the fight. Weibo dominating Fnatic rather, and they're looking to equalize this series.
And they just waited their time, Betty. They played it safe and steady in the early game, and now 24 minutes in, it is a 10,000 gold lead for Weibo. Light 5-1, writing names in his death note left and right. TheShy 404, enemies not found, at least here in game 2. It feels like we're going down to the wire. It's a series. It's on our hands. We have to say that at least once.
That it is.
For Fnatic, it would be the most unlikely comeback to win this game, but you have to think their minds now on how they change in game 3. Blue side, a certainty. The question is, will it be enough?
That's the question. I mean, just look at the level difference between the AD carries. Light about to tick over to 15. Those 3 items primed and ready to go with a Vam Scepter to boot. He's about to change guns. Saving that last tick of ammo, I imagine, for the Q usage to help build up those chakrams should a fight take place. TheShy continuing to pressure in bot lane, a 2-level advantage over Oscar. And look at how much damage he's doing in these fights. TheShy, the quiet unsung hero. No insane 5-man Gnar ultimates this game, but it doesn't matter. The Starax, he's proving, has a huge amount of value in these fights. He often looks like he's out of position, takes a lot of the cooldowns, then tanks it up, disengages, then when the team sees an opportunity, they go for the fight afterwards.
And just look at where the vision line advances to as soon as Weibo gain control of the game. There is not a single ward for Fnatic outside of their base. In fact, there are no wards in their base, only their towers granting them vision where they are not currently standing, and Weibo have littered at least the top side. They have a control ward at the blue as well to allow TheShy to push out. Light standing back just in case as Fnatic push out mid. Xiaohu pushing in top. It's a reset timer for Weibo. And the timer starting to tick over for the Baron as well. 17 seconds on it. Fnatic have not denied all the vision in their jungle. There are still wards there. There are still positions
top lane
for TheShy to TP in. As you say, top lane pushing on the inhibitor tower. Fnatic trying to find anything they can.
I mean, Weibo are playing this incredibly smart. They set up the vision. Fnatic's forced to clear it out. But while they're doing that, Xiaohu pushes in top, TheShy pushes in bot, and now you have these 2 big points of pressure, and Fnatic's kind of forced into this awkward situation where they now feel they have to fight. But look at TheShy, looking for a flank.
That's the flank. Noah has flash cleanse. TheShy gets the slow though, no Mega Gnar. Weaver's Wall separates Trymbi, Nature's Grasp. I think that will be short.
It's a lot used though.
Agree. Razork could look for the engage, but weiwei stands in front of his teammates.
I feel like Fnatic should consider sending someone bot just to catch those waves. A lot of farm is being lost right now. Level 15 is very close for Humanoid.
Have you heard of a 50-50 Baron though?
Oh, Razork, whoa!
Oh my goodness, Razork absolutely melted there by Light. Long range Moonlight Vigil as well, and Noah and Humanoid follows suit. Wards go in the bushes. Oscar tries to tank it up. The hostile takeover short, but Oscar trying to keep his team alive, may have sacrificed his own life. TP behind now. Xiaohu looking for the flank, has flash. The Gnar into the wall, finds 2 as Oscar goes in. Trymbi gets a Magnus Storm. Noah trying to do everything he can, and Humanoid just about able to survive. Xiaohu going low. Razork, he gets the kill, but he gets outclassed by Weibo. Noah, Humanoid, and Trymbi can only stand and watch as their inhibitor towers are raised to the ground, and Xiaohu the only man to fall here for Weibo. Inhibitor will fall alongside it, and Weibo can turn their eyes back towards the Baron.
Oh, Light with a great Aphelios performance. Only a single death this game. And his range was just so incredibly difficult to deal with. You're going to see it here. Starts with the turret that applies the green gun auto, applies another one. 2 autos basically execute Razork, remove him from the fight. Collector almost finishing that kill off. Then Oscar tries to go through the unsafe way, almost loses his life as well, and then TheShy says, you know what, I'm TPing in, I've got Mega Gnar. I can immediately ultimate when I arrive, and that's exactly what he does. Humanoid has no flash. You'll see a knockback from Xiaohu. Doesn't really get that initial kill onto Humanoid. He throws his whole combo onto TheShy, he just brushes it off. Razork does get that kill, flash is out, but the damage is done. The inhibitor will fall, and Weibo looking fantastic here in game 2. The Baron secured, the Dragon as well.
Dragon went over to Fnatic actually while Weibo were doing the Baron. At least that's what our scoreboard shows us. Still a 12,000 gold lead for Weibo, and with the power that TheShy has in his back pocket right now, you have to think it's just going to be a 1-4 split. It looks like Light currently pushing in the bottom lane. Crisp and TheShy will meet up in mid. Vision control gained around this blue side jungle. Fnatic forced back, found wanting so far in this game. The series will be evened out at 1-1 unless something truly special happens. And although Fnatic have been doubted many times, and I think game 1 started to silence those doubters a little bit, I don't think that they have a path back to victory, at least in this game. Weaver's wall once again. Xiaohu looking for Razork. He dashes back, but immediately is locked up. Jumps onto Crisp, who flashes away. Meanwhile, the Nature Scots on the top side of the fight means that Razork is entirely separated with the rest of his team. 4 members of Fnatic just trying to fight against Light and weiwei. Hostile takeover coming out as weiwei dashes forward and kills off 2. Oscar and Noah sent packing. An early grave for them as Humanoid will follow suit. It is a meager grade for Fnatic in this game. They tried everything they could in the early game, but they just could not match Weibo. And we are going to game 3.
I mean, Weibo, they just slowed the game down. They changed the Poppy to the Maokai, and they got themselves a very solid teamfight comp. Fnatic went all in on the early game, and they just could not make it work. They could not find those early game advantages. And in the team fights, Weibo just came out on top.
Yeah, they did. We'll see if they can bounce back, or if Fnatic can bounce back in game